Thank you guys for coming to our Liverpool Manchester United preview. Definitely, this is a one tie that both fans, set of fans worldwide, where they are, they mark it down year after year on the calendar. I always look forward to these ties, regardless of where everybody is. Representing the Scousers, Dags, he's back after like over a year. He's not been on for a while. He's
Yeah.
back on. Our regular Manchester United supporter. And I dubbed him a name which he doesn't like to hear. But I'm going to call it, I'm going to say it anyway. I call him the president of the Ole or Bust movement. Chuky.
Oh,
Chuky
for
is
real?
yeah, he's the Ole or Bust president.
Are you
Don't
serious?
mess with him. Do not mess with that. Ready
That,
for you,
hey,
sir.
that's inaccurate. That's inaccurate. But in the era of fake news, who cares anymore?
This guy said I'm carrying fake news. Okay. Uh, as regular, I'm here. I am a regular presenter. So the topics we're going to dive in, we're going to do ask us a regular, I think a fan-based question. That's why I'm going to throw that in there. We've done too many combined 11. Those things are getting kind of boring. So I wanted to switch it up a little bit and think of something that will have fun slash passionate opinions. So first question will be like in the one-off game, is it the United 08, 09, I guess 07 era Fergie team or this Liverpool clubs? What does it call it? What's the name he calls you guys now? Mentality monsters, right? That's what he calls you guys. Dags.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mentality
yeah,
monster. It's a nice, it's a catchy phrase.
yeah.
uh, Going to the second thing, we'll talk about what do you determine as realistic success for each team based on where the team is for sure. Then we just do a prediction of the game, score prediction, and just like general analysis of how you think the game will go. I always like to do this since we are bringing you on to a very biased podcast because it's going
Mm,
to be biased for sure.
mm. Oh yeah. Two against
uh,
one.
and since you are the host team for this time, I'll ask Dax, one off game. Say this is the Champions League final.
Mm.
That Manchester United team and this team, and I think it's very relevant since both teams have already won the
Mm.
Champions League already. So in any one-off game, who do you think is going to win? And tell me why. It
All
doesn't matter
right.
if it has to be logical, in my opinion.
So I would say naturally, I would say Liverpool. And the reason why I'd say Liverpool is, and I wouldn't say like would wipe the floor with Manchester United as much as I would love that to be the case. That's definitely not going to be the case. I would say Liverpool just because of the style of play we have versus style of play back then. Um, Manchester United back '08, '07, '08, '09 era, very disciplined in the back, and then they hit you quickly on the counter. They had a very quick front three, or their forwards were quick. Anyway, Tevez, Ronaldo, Rooney. So as long as they got the ball to them, and their creativity would essentially open up the lanes, and then they would score. Liverpool is they've been anybody who plays them these days essentially adopts a similar form strategy. Stay very
Okay.
compact and then hit them on the counter. And that used to be our issue, our problem when we were losing games, probably like a season or two ago. But now we've done a good job of having, I mean, our back four is pretty quick. So they're very quick in recovering. And even our midfielders, they know how to quickly adjust and get into the right position when they're tracking back so that they could prevent those crosses or those passes into the open space. Not always perfect, but for the most part, they get it right. So I think just based off of that, and they're also very good at breaking down those teams that essentially just sit back and park the bus, the aeroplane, the spaceship, whatever. They're good at doing that. So I'll say Liverpool. I'll give them the edge, and they definitely will score. That's for sure. I mean, if you look at our what we're averaging about almost 3 goals a game. Um, Manchester United. I'm gonna act like I didn't do any research, but I did do some research. Manchester
Okay.
United then was averaging about 2 goals a game. So I mean, you have to bank on Liverpool scoring.
Right.
So I think that just because of that, they will edge it out, whether it's 1-0, 2-1, or whatever. So I'll give it to Liverpool.
Okay, I mean that's a fair point. Chucky,
Okay, so well, that's all fair and well. I think
Dags is too logical, man. I thought I was going to come up with some off the cuff thing, so I can come at you. I
I'm
can
not gonna
come
say
at
anything
you.
too crazy.
no, it's all fair and well. Liverpool has a fantastic team this season. They have a fantastic manager. They have a good system that they've all bought into. They've really leaned into what Klopp has been selling to them. You would think last season that they probably would have picked City for the title just based on their performances. And I think they were unlucky to, but they got the golden ears, which is good for them. But I just said no contest. I mean, these
Whoa.
when you're comparing players like
Whoa.
Cristiano Ronaldo, at
Gloves
his,
off.
I mean, at this time, Cristiano Ronaldo's plane was just about to take off the runway, right? I mean, this guy was coming with the
Alright.
juice. Um, I think he had like something like, I don't know, maybe like 26 goals total or something like that. Then you had Rooney. Rooney then was still a 20-25 goal a season player. He didn't explode, explode into his goal tantrums till Ronaldo left. So he was, I think he put in like maybe 20-21 goals. Berbatov, who was a bench player, I don't know why Fergie didn't like him that much. To me, he's a fantastic player. His control is almost second to none. His football intelligence is like almost Jedi level. I think he contributed like 15 goals or so, and that's like your third choice because you still had Tevez, who was a workhorse at that point. And Saha didn't play at all. He didn't kick a ball that season. So you always talk about 3 goals a game against who, right?
Hey,
What defender in the league can you compare to?
that's what the stats say.
Okay, no, you
Y'all
beat
could only
teams in
score
front of
two
you.
goals. Y'all could only score
Hey,
average 2 goals a game. That's what the stats say.
yeah, but United have to play against defenders like, even the
Hey,
shit teams
who?
like Liverpool.
Who?
Wait,
Other than
hold on. Let me
other than
finish. Let me finish.
Chelsea.
Even
Who
then,
else?
Liverpool in '08 going to '09, Liverpool was like they were okay team. I mean, we
Like, why
didn't
you
care.
wanna beat a guy?
The
Why?
only thing exciting about Liverpool then was the rivalry. Okay, you say the rules have kind of switched now, fair game. That's okay. But in 2009 going to 2008, 2009, Liverpool was just a substandard team, and
Mm,
they still had people like Carragher
mm.
as defenders. Carragher is a top defender regardless of whether he won a title or not. Okay, so who is Mane, Salah, and Bobby facing today? They're facing Phil Jones and Smallings and Maguires
You guys
and
shitting on his own defenders.
I'm just saying. No, I'm not shitting. I'm comparing the standard. The standard for United has fallen. There's no anyone. You can ask anyone on the street; they'll tell you the same thing. We're talking about Vidic. We're talking about Ferdinand. I mean, these are all stars with their eyes closed. You know. So either way,
well,
that if you're talking about firepower, that team was too much for the present Liverpool team. Let's put that one aside. Let's go to manager to manager. Fergie
okay.
at that point, 2008, 2009, I think he finished the season winning the league, and at that point he had won 3 consecutive EPL titles. Something Klopp probably dreams about doing
Mm,
if he doesn't muck it up or
mm.
choke at the end of the day. And before then, he had done 3 in a row before. So that was his second tour of duty doing 3 in a row. Okay,
Okay.
so even at the manager point, it's almost a no contest. The personalities, Liverpool is a team. I like Liverpool because it's a team, right? Even their superstars in maybe Van Dijk and maybe Salah. Salah is a little degrading right now. He's not really popping off as he used to. Um, I love Bobby, but I won't call him a superstar. I'll say he's a good facilitator. I think Mane is the next big superstar in Liverpool. Manchester United, I mean, they were the Rolling Stones, man, from back to front. I mean, who do you want to pick on? you know, I mean, is it Ronaldo? Is it Rooney? Is it Evra? Is it Vidic? Is it Ferdinand? I mean, so people knew him back in the day. So it's a no contest. That team kills the Liverpool team probably 3-1 or something like that. And on top of that, you have to put in the fear factor there. Anytime United shows up, Liverpool just basically puts on their princess slippers or something. I don't know what's wrong with them, right? They just can't get over the mentality of Manchester knocking them off the perch. Those several seasons ago. But fair game. They're the ones on the perch now. We'll see how many years it's going to take for them to sustain or fall off the perch.
Are you finished? Gloves off. Gloves off. All right, you wanna go? All right, let's go. Let's go.
Those are very good points.
This is good point. But this is a classic case of what they say of member berries. Back in the day, man. Oh my God, romanticizing. All of a sudden, we want to act like players don't evolve. We don't want to act like the players don't get better, they don't get faster, they don't get more athletic. So we're just going to romanticize and act like back in that era, there were only two teams, Chelsea and Manchester United. Back in that specific period in time, those are the only two teams in the Premier League that you could say, all right, these are top teams.
Yeah.
Liverpool was like, we had our peak in 2005 and then we're essentially struggling and trying to hold on. I mean, come on, man. I mean, yeah, Carragher, top class, but the rest of the defense was not that great, and it's my team.
So before you use the E-word era, I love the word era. They've used this to spank us all season that we're historians. We're not historians. It's all good. It's fine. It's okay. It's all fair game. It's all banter. Carragher and Gerrard were the iconic Liverpool players, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Carragher is on TV.
Yeah.
Gerrard is managing a team, right?
Yeah.
Ronaldo is still one of the top players.
Now let me get there now. Let me get there.
Okay.
So first and foremost, I want to start by, because you were downplaying, I was giving you stats, averaging 2 goals a game versus 3 goals a game. We want to act like the defenders now are nonsense, and then back then, oh my God, wow, the league was so much tougher. No, it wasn't. We only had 2 good teams back then. But even in that era, the average goals were still 2 goals a game for Manchester United. Not taking it, Cristiano Ronaldo had an amazing season. But if we're talking about eras, right? We're talking about eras.
It was okay.
It was all right. 26, 36.
Yeah, that was okay.
But then
Aguero does that with these useless defenders in his sleep, right? Kane. Harry Kane will be injured half the season and still be 25 goals.
But if we're talking about the best of the best, because let's say that, I think that was Ronaldo's peak, right? That particular season, that was his peak with Manchester United, right? So if we're going to do the same thing, do we think that are we now going to ignore? Which Salah are we comparing? Are we talking about the Mo Salah that also had an outstanding season as well, 30 plus goals a game?
Yeah.
Are we going to use the Salah of this season where he's kind of like, he's not that great, right? Because I would say that if you compare both of them at their prime, the best at Manchester United, the best at Liverpool, I think they can go toe to toe, honestly. And I mean, I don't know. That's that close ball.
Salah who can go toe to toe.
Messi-esque, man. I don't know. That's
where Salah who can go
Ronaldo, why not?
As in
aberration.
You said one game, that's the team of that era, the team of this era. They're best of their best, right? Mane's season, Salah's season, 2 seasons ago was comparable to Ronaldo's season 2 seasons back in 07-08. So therefore they cancel each other out.
Yeah, but right? that's just numerology, right? Yeah. The only toe-to-toe comparison they can do is just pedicures when it comes to Salah and Ronaldo. So I mean, unfortunately we have hindsight. We're able to see how good we've seen what Ronaldo has blossomed into. We don't know what Salah is going to.
Okay, this is going up now. I'm going to bring everybody back in. Let me bring everybody back in. I'm going to give I'll give my thoughts before we move to the next topic. My thoughts are, and maybe it's biased, maybe it's not. Who knows? I feel like the peak of our best players, the peak of like Ronaldo at that time was a peak that was incredible in Europe and in the domestic league, right? I also think as a team, that team they kind of have similar comparison with this Liverpool team is they just never knew when to lose. I'm going to give Dags. I'm going to give you one thing though, and this is just me trying to very, very, very new. I think the standard, obviously, of the league now, when I mean the standard, I mean the middle table teams, the amount of good teams, and the bottom teams are better than that time. I think it's clearly better. You can see that defenses are smarter now. You also can see that now the top 6 teams are so much closer. That time it used to be 2 or 3. Sometimes that'll be good. Then the 4, 5, 6 teams, like the rest of the teams were just like far apart. Now, the last couple of years, that's when that is when the top 16 came out. At most, those years we say top 3, then it became top 4 at some point. It's just now we start saying top 6. There was nothing like top 6 back then, right?
Well,
I think
one clarifying point,
on,
quickly, because I want to lose this. I totally agree with your point. What I was talking about is defending, individual defending. Back in the day, it was on individual defenders. Now it's system defending. Go ahead, continue.
Correct. That's accurate. So that's why I say defenses are smarter now. It's not dependent on. That's why you notice back in the days where the top teams, Ferdinand or Liverpool with Carragher, like you see the teams just fall apart completely because, like you said, that's correct. The system defends now. So teams are smart. They're smarter now. But I just think on a one-off game, sticking to the question, on a one-off game, I just feel the peak of Manchester United, all of the best players were just slightly higher. They had more to their game. Cristiano had more to his game. He could kill you with free kicks. He could kill you with headers. He could kill you with like dribbling and speed and transition game. They could also slow it down and kill you with like the midfield. I just feel like slightly they were edgy.
And if you say slightly, you know the funny thing, yes, you are biased. By the way, but I actually appreciate
everyone
the fact that, hey, fair enough, true. I actually appreciate the fact that you are inserting some objectivism or objectiveness in this, so that's good. But yeah, I think funny enough, if you say it's a margin of errors from my perspective, I mean that team back in the day, as much as I hate to admit it, that was a phenomenal team. And I think it is, margin of errors. Manchester United can on a good day get it. Liverpool on a good day get it. Correct. But to say wipe the floor with Liverpool, wipe the
we need that level of passion. We need that level of passion. So I just think it's slightly.
One thing you guys failed to mention, one thing both of you failed to mention is another objectivity is that this team. We can't go back in time, but we can say what's in front of us. This team played with Ole's Manchester United. That's probably one of the worst United teams, period, as far as the caliber of players we have at our disposal. And you guys were playing from behind, which is interesting. So, hey, so it's hard to say what it is. I love this Liverpool team. I can't lie. It's a wonderful team.
One thing I'll counter one thing I would like to counter this is I think a lot of people like to make mistakes and use singular games in the league.
I'll talk about single
judge. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, Chuky. Just that Manchester United team, if I remember, either 08 or 09, I think in 09 we lost to Liverpool. Yeah. We did lose to Liverpool. The Danny Murphy goal. So I would like to those things are. Yeah, I don't like singular games. It's a league system. In league system, you judge by like how many points, and all of that. So
your point I don't really like. Your point is very, very valid, Iron, and I take that. You're totally correct. But what I was trying to ride on was that this is Liverpool at the height of their power. This is a Liverpool team that hasn't lost the game in 37, 38 games. So I'm comparing the height of their powers versus the height of the powers back in the day.
We haven't lost a game since last January.
That's about 38 games.
Just to clarify.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough. Yeah, true. That's true. That's true. That is about
it. One thing you like to say is, and why I still think that one thing I just wanted to say to quickly end this segment is that team we saw the peak, like Chuky said, we saw 3 consecutive, tripit.
Yeah.
This team we still haven't seen the peak, which in a way is both sides. We haven't seen the peak, and it kind of looks scary the fact that we haven't seen the peak, and they still haven't lost the game for a year.
That's a good point.
At the same time, it might be that this is where it's going to top out, and every other once they win the league, I mean, you guys have to win. That one is obvious. Once they win the league, it might kind of taper out a little bit. So it's all interesting. I think that was
once Liverpool wins the league, they get first dibs. They get first dibs on players. Every small boy in the world who say they were dreaming of joining Liverpool. Blah 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 blah. So it's a chicken and egg.
It is. Chuky, stay with you real quick. What is realistic success for Manchester United this season? For you, if you had to judge, what's realistic success? I mean, we know that's why it's more realistic. We
Okay.
always know that Manchester United wants to compete for the league
We will
title,
lead the
always, whatever.
league.
That's where it should be.
Why don't you
Whatever.
add
But realistic
realistic?
success
I
based
want
on
to
what
No,
hear. I want to hear his real mind.
no. So no, I'm always
why
realistic
they
about
why they
Manchester United.
add it.
You should have said realistic.
No, I'm always realistic about Manchester United.
Okay.
Manchester United, because of how big a club they are globally, is always in the conversation about
Yeah.
okay, why are they just like in time, just like Milan or anywhere else. Teams that are historically great, but they're not doing as great during this current, let me use your word, era. Okay. Realistically, I think before the season started, most of the pundits, and whether it's official pundits or pundits like us or fans at home, I think they were united probably from the fifth to maybe eighth-ish bracket in that whereabout. Especially once they figured out that they weren't going to replace Lukaku and Herrera, and they were going into the season with this midfield. This midfield is probably the most abysmal midfield any top six club has ever started a EPL campaign with. It's just that terrible. They have mid-table, they are proper mid-table teams in the league right now. In fact, there are teams under the league table that will take their midfield before we take some of ours. Now we have, of course, superstars like Paul Pogba, but that's one person doesn't make an army, and that's where United is today. So they have a novice coach, I would say, in Ole. He's doing good things. He's doing the hard things that need to be done to reboot the club, to start almost anew, and start doing real long-term fixes to the team instead of patchwork, right? Instead of patchwork fixes like we've been seeing. We're going to get new players, but we're going to still try to win the league. And that hasn't really worked for United over the past 4 or 5 seasons. So where should we realistically finish? Based on everything I've seen, I will be surprised if we finish lower than 6th. And that's kind of where we are. That's kind of what we deserve based on where we've been. And a lot of United fans don't want to hear that because of prestige, because of pride, because Liverpool is doing great, City is doing great. These are rivals that we've laughed at and we've held our head over for a number of decades, and now it's their turn to shine, and we can't take it, which is fine. Some fans don't know how to lose, which is, that's just the nature of the cycles of football. You're on top, and sometimes you have in your valley years. United's in their valley years now. Is Ole the right person to take us all the way to the mountain? I'm not sure about that question, but I'm fine with him being in the valley right now, buying the players that can stabilize and bring just some kind of sustainable help to the team and to the club. If we can qualify for the UCL this year, which would be something, I'll say that based on what I've seen, and we can do it another season, then I think now we have a good pathway to sustainable growth. I'll say 4th to 6th is the bracket I put United in, as far as the realistic performance I'm looking from them. Anything above them is just banter. I mean, anyone that thinks that we can challenge for top 2 is just either they're into.
He's being a Man U fan. That's what.
It's not just being a fan. Let me use the word you used before, unrealistic. They're being unrealistic and they just want to cause for themselves. All right. I don't want to campaign for myself. I understand where we are. I understand exactly where we are. We're not in a place where we can challenge for the top 2. Not this season.
Are you worried about becoming?
Okay.
Go ahead with the question.
Are you worried about becoming Liverpool? Because I'm just curious, as you guys being Man U fans and coming from that horrible 3 decades that Liverpool has been in.
Yeah.
Because if Ole is not the guy, even if you have the right players, you're still never going to get back to the mountaintop, right?
Okay.
Versus if you need somebody who's actually going to put in the right structure, right philosophy, and everything, and inject and embed that in the team and create the right foundation. Do you think?
Okay. So now, are you sure you're not undercover United fan? Oh, I know where this comes from. This comes from the pain you suffered for years and years.
Oh yeah.
So you understand what it takes.
Oh yeah.
To get
Oh
there.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm just looking at you guys, and I'm like, I know.
I'm smiling. You know I'm smiling. Dax. Me and this guy off Camry have had similar conversations like this, and it has come from a place where he always used to say, and this is good. I don't want to also deviate because I want to stay on topic. He always used to say, I'm not looking at what's the word Chuky always says about me. Like I'm thinking he's the guy that will automatically a silver bullet and just take us to the top. I'm glad you asked this question coming from a neutral person, and that's why when we have this discussion, I always smile a lot because these conversations is things that I've done so much extensive research for the past 1 year about why I'm not okay with some things about our current setup. But that's a good question though. I don't know if Chuky can answer this question.
I can answer. I love
30 seconds.
Okay. I love the themes you picked there. Foundation, structure, system. Are they right? Because when they're right, it leads to health. Mm-hmm. We don't know where it leads to. It might not be the meteoric rise that your club has achieved with Klopp, because that's like a confluence of a lot of good things happening, and here you are. Then Klopp won stuff in Germany, so it wasn't it wasn't a mystery there.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried. I'm not worried because Liverpool, when they were going through their valley years, did not have the same resources United has.
True.
Right? 2, they didn't have the same fan base United has. Liverpool fan base, yes, I'm sure you guys had your forums where you're complaining, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, Liverpool is raise my banner high, you won't work alone, blah, blah, blah. United fans aren't like that. They're not as supportive. It's just, I personally don't even like it, but I'm just saying what it is. United fans are not that supportive, right? They can't. They went through 26 years of winning, so there was no grooming period of teaching this fan base that's followed the club how to lose. United fans don't know how to lose, right?
But if that's lack of, but then that can go against you, because if your fan base doesn't have patience, then you're not giving that person the time they need.
Thank you so much for saying that. You're correct. But the other thing it does on the other side is it puts pressure on the establishment to act when we haven't reached the inflection point, when we are not going back up, right? So last game, you already have section of fans singing about Ed Woodward, who's our MD, CEO, whatever you want to call him, right? So that's what you get for United fans. You get planes flying in the air saying Ed Woodward is a specialist in failure, right? We're not afraid to do that. That's ours. So I don't think it will be 30 years. I think it will take. If to give a timeline, I'll give it 3.5 seasons. I think thereabout. Nothing that drastic, right? If we make continual gains, we get a director of football, we do the right things. If we don't, then who knows?
Did you say 3.5 years to what though? That I don't confirm that before we move.
To start challenging for the very top.
Chuky.
I said to start challenging for the very top. EPL trophies
with the structure, right? With the structure and right and the right manager. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
But that would mean if you're saying three seasons from now, that would mean you're saying that Ole is your guy, because you have to believe that Ole.
That's a good point.
I think based on what I know about Ole, I think Ole is the 2-season manager, right? 2 seasons manager, right? He comes in. He gives the team stability. So he reduces the floor, right? So we're not talking about 6, 7, 8 anymore. We're talking top 4, 5, that's it. He does it for a couple of seasons. You tell him bye-bye. Right now, you stabilize the club. Same thing that happened to like Inter Milan. Inter Milan 3 seasons ago, they were 7th. Then they became 4th. They became 4th again. They told their coach goodbye. They brought Conte in. Conte took them from 4th, skipped 2 positions and said challenging for number 1, right? They haven't got there yet. They're just challenging. That's the kind of things, that's the incremental changes you kind of want to see. So United has to find what system they want. And I think Ole has started that journey. I don't think he's the one to finish it, though.
Okay. That's good. Him answering that. I'll answer you quickly there, because I know you probably want my thoughts, right? I think 5 years from now, it's more realistic, in my opinion. I don't think Ole is the guy for sure. I think he's doing some good things that are being exaggerated by people who are very sentimental to what he represents. He's doing some good things, though, to be fair to him. He's doing some good things, like, player like removing some of the players that passed it, some player acquisition for this season for sure. He's doing some good things. I give that to him, despite the pressure. I just think a lot of the good things are being exaggerated,
Mm.
and I think the next person that will be the guy to do the rebuild will undo some of the things he's doing. That's my opinion,
Yeah.
and that's what's going to make it get to 5 years. So back to you. We have debated for so long. We can have
Yeah.
this discussion of what's realistic success for Liverpool. That
All right. Do I answer this question as a Liverpool, a long-suffering Liverpool fan who is the butt of
however
every
you want
joke,
to.
or do I answer it? I'm going to answer it with my heart. And that means answering as a Liverpool fan. I would say second.
Oh my God!
Ah,
Come
no.
on, man! Come
Oh,
on, man!
hey,
Come on! At this stage of the
let,
season,
let me tell
That's
you.
nobody's busting
Let
my
me
PTSD.
shoes.
tell you
Nobody.
something.
PTSD right here.
Let me tell you something. If you've been through all of the crap that we've been through, hey,
I
like,
understand.
if anybody
I
can bottle it,
understand.
if anyone can bottle it, we are the ones. We own the records, man. So at the end of the day, I will not
16
be
points.
will not be
Well, how many games is it? Is it 18, 18 games
impossible.
left or 17? Is it 18 or 17? I can't remember.
18.
18. Okay.
It's
So
even 16.
What?
It's 16 points. Come on.
mathematically, 16. I go
Hey,
that
Yeah,
mathematically.
hey.
Okay.
So what? It was, yeah, 16
yes,
between
16
16
points
points.
mathematically.
Okay.
Yes. Oh boy, we can lose 5 games. We can lose 5 games. Anything
Okay, no problem.
possible. So, hey, man, hey, until it's mathematically impossible, like truly impossible for us to lose, that's the only time I'm going to be like, yes, we are champions, man.
so,
And
Do you know?
so this is
One
so
thing
let's
that
do it again. Think of the question. I said,
okay.
what is the realistic success? Hold on, Chucky. What's the
oh,
realistic success for Liverpool? Considering that last season you guys are European champions
yes,
and
yes,
came second with the highest. You guys might as well have been first last
yes,
season. You
yes,
guys
yes.
came second with 7 points? Come on, bro. So again, answer the question. and you strengthened in January. Let's use the word in January. You
Let me
strengthened in
tell
January. You had a player who pretty much did not play last season, Keita. So that's almost
you. Yeah.
that's a buzzword. I like to use it for a throw, but it's almost like a new signing, Keita. So answer the question now, logically.
Let me say something. It's like somebody's following us. Like when they say somebody did you something in the village. I feel like if it comes out of my mouth, I feel like if it comes out of my mouth, all of a sudden things are going to fall apart. I swear, last season I was pretty sure we have this. When coming out of 2000 and what 8, and we're top of the league, what 7, 8 points. I was like, oh yeah, this is it, we got it. And then just
8 points. 8 points, yeah.
ridiculous run of draws upon draws upon draws, and I'm like, wow. Like seriously, Sha, we're going to do this again. Klopp is going to have this under his belt. What, the third coach to go through this nonsense? Like, are you serious? So I don't know. I refuse. I refuse to let those words come out of my mouth until I know that it is completely impossible for
this,
us to lose this.
this is what I'm saying.
You're wasting your time, oh. You're wasting your time. I'm not saying it. I'm
Oh,
not
My
saying
we're
it.
goodness,
going to say it for you then.
this is ridiculous. Okay,
We're going to say it for
okay. So
you.
we are going to say it for you. You guys are going to expect to win the league. Okay, what about Champions League? At least can you talk about Champions League? Can you talk about Champions League?
Ah,
He's just won it. What's the expectation of Champions League? My goodness, this is
Champions.
so.
I expect that we'll go to the semis or to the finals. That's what I think. I expect
Okay,
that. So,
So
and it depends on who the
3 times in a row.
the way I see it
Okay.
for Liverpool is that you could call it being a hater, or I don't really care. I'm just following just my gut when it comes to Liverpool. I just said it's part of the
Okay.
segment that in the current era of football is very, very high energy. The gap between teams have considerably lessened just because of how competitive it is, just everywhere, except maybe Syria. All right. Liverpool
Yeah,
has expended a lot of energy. 97 points is a lot of points not to win something.
it is.
It's a lot of points. So now you have to convince your team to expand even more just to get over the hump, and they're doing it. They're doing it. Um, so any other time, Liverpool would have won an EPL trophy last season. This year, they've already won an EPL trophy, so that's already 2 trophies. One interior trophy that never happened, and one interior trophy that we think is going to happen this year. That's a lot of energy. At some point, you're going to reach the ceiling, and you're going to have to go down as far as just sustaining except you guys do a big team refresh, right? You're not going to depend on the core players because the same players that you're depending on now are the same players you depended on last season, right? So that's 3 seasons. I'm waiting for when I know the airplane is going to run out of gas and you have to make landing, right? The issue there is Klopp. Has Klopp got to the point where he's an amazing coach? I love Klopp as far as a leader and as a coach, regardless of which team he's coaching. He just happens he's coaching Liverpool. One thing he hasn't proven to me is can he keep that balloon flying? Pep, Fergie, the great ones find a way to keep
This guy is going to make me say it.
Just say, I'm just saying. So once you've won this year, what you should be afraid of is what's going to happen to us next season, right? Even though when we get the new players, because now everybody's going to love Liverpool, everybody wants to transfer to Liverpool, blah blah. What is the plan for next season? That's what you should be concentrating on. This season, you guys have already won the league. The trophies already.
Okay. I thought you were I thought you were saying that we are going to run out of gas and going to lose. So I was like, this guy's me actually.
No.
To that point,
the point difference is.
To that point, though, actually, that's one of the things I actually have the most confidence in Klopp in, because honestly, like you said, last season, 97 points. I expected that after exerting so much energy, and don't forget that it was right off the bat, so beginning of the season we took off, right? Yeah. So they went through a lot, expended a lot of energy, and they came so close, and then they let it slip. I was like, I don't know how Klopp can get them to do it again. And he found a way to get them to do it again. So there's something special about this guy. Like I feel like I'm not worried about that at all. I know he's going to find a way to motivate the players. I think he's going to come up with new challenges. I honestly think that I don't think that we run away with it next season as well, because I actually feel like he's probably going to tinker with a few things and clearly maybe make some other things priority over the others. So because of that, we may not, and then we've done it, so then that pressure to do is not there again. But I honestly feel like we're going to be competing right to the very end next season as well. I feel like if it's a matter of motivating the players, the same way Pep finds a way to keep his players motivated. And honestly, the only thing what's wrong with Manchester City today is not motivation. It's really the fact that they probably didn't replace key players that they should have, and they essentially ran out of gas a little bit.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. But go ahead.
So I feel like the same way Pep finds a way to keep his players motivated, Klopp has the same DNA. He has the same ability to do that, and will continue to be motivated.
So what I meant motivated, here's the thing. Okay, so I like everything you said, but I'm gonna have to disagree on the premise of it, right? In sports, in life in general, when somebody gets so close to a goal, like basically 97 points, it was already in your hands. Your fingernails were scratching that trophy, right? It's not that hard to tell players, we were there, let's just finish it this season, right? Because the hunger for something you haven't tasted is still there. The issue normally comes after you've got it, after you expended all your energy, your adrenaline and everything. The impetus to get there is to get them back from their high and say, okay, let's do it all over again. The greatest have said it in their books, in their literature, this is the hardest thing to do. It's after you get there, after you climb the mountain, to start from zero and climb back up. When if you're almost there and somehow You didn't get there.
But hey, don't
It's
forget
not so hard.
we've been almost there 3 times.
Yes.
Liverpool has been almost there 3 times, and the very
Yes.
last next season we completely crashed.
No,
A
no.
lot of other teams also have almost been there and
Yeah.
then they crashed. I disagree with you. I
Yes.
completely agree
Yeah.
with if you say between both of them, which is harder. I completely agree. If you win
Okay.
it and
Okay.
that's a lot more difficult to
Repeat.
repeat. Yes, I completely agree with you. But I don't think that it is
Yeah.
automatic that if you go so close and you don't get it, I don't think it's automatic that drive and hunger is still going to be continuing to the next season and you get right back to the pinnacle again.
I apologize for giving you that impression. I'm talking about with the same resources. Liverpool's a good team. Is why they got 97. Bad teams don't get 97 points. You know, 97 points will win the league 10, 20 years in a row.
Yeah.
Right? Liverpool is a good team. So based on having those resources, why I said I was glad you mentioned about Pep. I don't think Pep motivates his team to. The way he motivates his team is spend millions and millions to get people to compete for their places. That's why. And one season that he doesn't do that, here they go. One season he doesn't do that, there they go. Right? After they win, they spend millions of pounds and dollars and euros on getting more people to compete for places. Right? That's his MO. Right? You buy 3-4 more players. Not cheap, none of them cheap. Like you talk about, 100 million.
Yeah.
Top players, right? Or people to compete, and that's what he does.
In my opinion, though, I think everything you guys have said, there's nothing that's wrong there. I like to add, though, it's as painful as it is to say this. I'm going to be very honest about my thoughts about Liverpool. I think Liverpool is a great team. I'll just summarize. They're a great team. I think good teams is what you use for what Leicester is doing. Liverpool is a great team. Number two, I think Klopp is the best manager in the world right now. My personal opinion. We thought he has been able to do this Liverpool team, especially when they win the league. He won Champions League last season. Like when you go back from his career path with Liverpool, what he's done, like from first year Europa Cup final, literally just getting to that team. Second year Champions League final. The following year he won the Champions League. Second 97 points. This year he's going to win the Premier League. And he's going to most likely get close Champions League again.
Did you think Zidane was the best manager in the year in the world when he won 3 back-to-back European championships?
No, and that's why I said considering. No, I didn't think so. I never thought so. Okay. Because of when you consider the resources Pep has had. That's why I always use that word, the resources, and the way he's done it. Liverpool, Manchester United, Dags. Prediction. I want score prediction and how do you think the game is going to go?
My heart says we are going to thrash you. We're going to whoop your asses. We're going to revenge for dropping points. That's what my heart says. My brain says so. Manchester United, whenever they wake up to play, is when they're playing against Liverpool. Like they play another level. Like I don't know, man. It's just frustrating, and I don't know whether it's them playing another level or us. It's kind of like
it's both ways, though.
Yes, it's kind of like.
I think it's both ways, too.
And I hate to say this because I'm giving you guys props. I hate to say this, but it's honestly like that chick that you wanted to date this girl, man. She's been the hottest chick forever, and then finally, like when you're talking to other girls, you're on point, your game is tight. But whenever this girl steps into the room, all of a sudden, man, your game just drops. Like you don't know how to act anymore. You're not as sleepy. So that is the only reason that I have a little. I feel as if we're going to, we'll probably drop a notch down, and then you guys are going to come a notch up. Do I think we'll lose? No, because it's Anfield, and that's the only reason why I think that we won't lose. There's no way in hell we're losing in Anfield. Okay. So if I'm going to give a specific prediction, I'll probably say 2-1.
Okay. That's a good one. Chuky, tell me. Tell me how you think it's going to
go. It's going to be a game of circumstance for United because of why? Because of the injury, because of the United injury list. But what you said is right. United finds a way to up their game. Or put this way, they stay very concentrated when they play teams like Liverpool and City. right? Because they are rivals, right? So there's a natural thing going on there. It's hard to say because we don't know what the squad is going to look like. If you gave me a squad list, I'll be better prepared to say what I thought will happen, right? If you gave me, hey, this is what Liverpool's squad is going to be on the day, and this is what United squad is going to be a day, I have no idea who's going to be on the United squad. I like zero idea. It could be 5 kids and a few others. It could be Matic.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Fred,
You guys have that James guy playing like
Lingard. Lingardinho. It could be them.
Yeah.
Is Young going to be on the bench or not? I don't know if Young is going. I don't know. I don't know what United is coming with. So let me just take a stab in the dark. I think for pride, right? I think for pride, there's one injury no team has given Liverpool this season, and that's to make them lose a game. United was very, very close at Trafford, right? At Old Trafford. And the club adjusted a little bit and it ended 1-1. I think it's going to end up in a draw myself. Okay. I think it's going to be a score draw. I think it's going to be like a 1-1 draw or something like that. That's my number one possibility. My number two possibility is that it's going to be a 2-1 win for United. That's my second possibility. So it's a 1-1 draw or a 2-1 win for United.
That's big. The big balls, man.
Coming into
Anfield.
I always make the big. I like to make the big.
That's why I brought Chuky here.
Yeah. So
that's why I brought Chuky here for his optimism. He's a very optimistic guy. Very, very optimistic guy. He's a realist though.
Yeah.
To be fair. But a lot of times he's a very optimistic guy. I hate Liverpool with so much passion, and like I always want to beat them no matter what. Like that 1-1 game, I'm just gonna give a caveat before I tell you what I think is gonna happen. I really wanted to win that game. I was driving and watching that game. I was like, yes, spoil their party, because I thought that was gonna be a mental thing that's gonna make you guys lose, and from there you start doubting yourselves and City will catch up or Leicester. I was just hoping. I was driving and praying. I was listening to that and I was like, man, this is terrible. This is bad. I should not be driving and watching this thing. I put it on my dashboard because I was coming up. So because of that, then the situation of Manchester United, the injuries they have, I'm not going to use my heart to speak to this one because I don't want to be disappointed. Because if I predict with my heart, I'll hold on to it and we'll get to that day and I'm disappointed. I think it's going to be Operation Keep the Score down by Manchester United. That's my opinion. For 2 reasons. We have a lot of injuries. 2, we are playing on Wednesday against Wolves. This is going to be a very hard game. And manager is going to have to play his full squad for that game because Wolves are going to come with their AA game. It's going to be a very hard game, regardless of whatever comes out. Liverpool is going to have a full week of, and we play on Sunday. Why we have to play on Wednesday? I think that's going to be a very, very key thing because at Anfield, he has to play strong. So then again, he cannot afford to rest like Fred and those guys. He has to play them again after playing on Wednesday. Those 2 key reasons, apart from the golf in class, those 2 key reasons make me. I see Operation Keep the score down. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say I cannot. You can't say. I can't say it. There's no way in hell I win that game. That will do that for sure. I do not see. No, I did not see. I did not see a draw also for Manchester United. So it's Operation Keep the score down. Okay. That's what I see. So.
All right. Won't say you lose.
So I
keep the score down.
Operation Keep the Score down. That's the best I can say for you guys. So we'll do quick score predictions of all the games and just end it here. Watford Spurs. Just Dags.
Say Spurs 2-1. Spurs win the game 2-1.
Chuky.
Watford 1-0.
Oh wow! Watford are on the right. It could happen. Because Spurs are just like all over the place. I think Watford ends in a draw 1-1. So I'll be on the fence. Arsenal, Sheffield United. That.
Arteta is doing well. They're at home. I'll say 2-1. Even though Sheffield is doing well as well.
Wow, that's almost one of my nominations for manager. I know you won't win it. Maybe you can come second if there's thing. I think one of my nominations for manager of the year. He's been incredible. Chuky, Arsenal, Sheffield.
Sheffield 2-0.
Whoa.
Sheffield beat Arsenal. Oh wow. Yeah. This guy just coming with the big ballsy predictions. I don't want to sit on the fence too. I want to say 1-1, but I think Arsenal will 2-1. Man City, Crystal Palace.
Okay.
Man City hosting Crystal Palace.
Okay.
City wipes the
Justice,
floor with them.
stop it.
3-0. They're on vex mode right now, so I think
3-0.
City's gonna beat them.
Yeah. Okay. Chuky, what do you think?
3-1. City 3-1.
Yeah, I do 3-1. I'll do 4-1. I think they're back on stealth mode. They're back on autopilot. I call them autopilot.
Yeah.
They're back on their autopilot. Yeah. Newcastle, Chelsea. Newcastle hosting Chelsea.
I give it to Chelsea 2-0 just because Chelsea trying to hold on that fourth spot. Newcastle mid-table, what they really have to fight for.
Yeah. I agree with you. Newcastle, they are a very weird team. Yeah, I can see that. Chuky, Newcastle hosting Chelsea.
2-1 Newcastle.
Whoa.
Okay.
Balls.
This guy.
you either win,
Just,
you either win big or you lose.
Oh, you go home. Go home. Okay.
Yeah,
I know where it's coming from.
It's well over half the season, and it's Chelsea hasn't really been. I mean, they got a good result the last game, but Newcastle is and Watford. All these teams are not the strongest teams, but they can cost you a lot of headache, especially when you have other things to do. Chelsea has other things to do. Arsenal has other things to do. They can easily lose. I'm not sold on Arteta yet. Arteta won against United, so all of a sudden they have a system that is visible and blah blah. Without their best goal scorer, Arsenal is. That's why I went with that result. And Newcastle.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Aubameyang, red card.
Yeah.
3 games.
Yeah, red card.
Okay.
So
3 game ban. Yeah.
Like I said, it's fine. He scores when he needs to, but I don't know. I still don't trust that Arsenal defense. And Sheffield is a strong team. They're a strong mid-table team, really strong. Okay. They have very nice technical players that really, really fast, like Almiron and all those guys. The long staffs over there, when they see a big team, they always have their shoulders high. So they might give Chelsea problems at home at St. James Park. So anyway, we'll see what happens.
Burnley, Leicester. Ending with you, Chuky. Burnley hosting Leicester. What do you think?
Burnley can give a headache, but Leicester is probably too strong for Burnley. I'll say 1-0 or 2-1. Let's go with 1-0.
Yeah, I don't see Burnley beating any. I don't think Burnley has beaten any top team this season, so I think Leicester is going to pull it
off. They're terrible.
Yeah,
they're terrible. Yeah. I think I agree. Ball is going down. I think Leicester beats them 3-1. Ball is going down. Even though Leicester is struggling, kind of, they've lost Ndidi, I think, due to injuries, but I think they'll be fine. They should be able to beat Burnley 3-1.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of the pod. This was fun. Dags, thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me.
This was good. Just make sure you book a date next season. So we can see what the
once I get this monkey off my back, man, I might be the cockiest human being in the world.
We already see the signs. If you guys are watching this, follow us on all our social media platforms at the end.